to the Think Marketing Show, the #1 podcast for growing and scaling your business with online video. I'm Heather Torres.
And I'm Sean Cannell, and we're from Think Media. And if this is your first time listening, welcome.
This show is dedicated to helping you learn how to get your content noticed and the latest money-making strategies working right now online. So whether you want to grow your YouTube channel or maximize online video across social media, this is for you.
Should every business have a YouTube channel? What do you think?
It's a great question. And I think that I basically first think every business should have a YouTube channel. Now, maybe one exception is like if you have like an underground coal mining company of some sort, or you're doing like something hyper niche. And even still, I think that you could definitely have a YouTube channel, but it might not correlate directly to YouTube. Like that'd make a great reality show, like behind the scenes. But beyond that, I think that it really probably comes down to this. Why wouldn't you establish your presence as a business owner on the #1 video site on the internet, the #2 largest website in the world, and the #2 largest search engine in the world called YouTube, which is a free platform. And the only thing standing between you and sharing your content with the world and reaching more people and growing your business bigger is just taking action and learning how to use it. And you know, we've seen a lot of people in our community that are kind of more traditional business owners leverage YouTube.
Yeah. And what about, does that matter if you're a local business or if you have an online business? Does it matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it makes a lot of sense if you're online and maybe if you have a global audience of some kind, you ship products around the world. But even for local, there's even more opportunity because local search on YouTube is even easier. You can do YouTube advertising as we get into some of the different tips. But there's also a lot of people that are kind of having a two kind of level approach. One is, well, if you have a YouTube channel, is it going to cause people locally to enter my place of business? Maybe not in the short term, but I think we need to be thinking bigger as business owners, be thinking global in terms of our influence. Like, why wouldn't you, even if you live in a small town, why wouldn't you want to become the known local bakery or local donut shop in your small town, while at the same time potentially doing donut recipes and donut tutorials that can make you extra money online? Or you could start shipping donuts, or you could start shipping recipe books, or even educational courses about how to build a local donut shop. So it's actually kind of potentially the conversation of should you be on YouTube is the conversation of catching a bigger vision for bigger profits, bigger impact, having really just a maybe bigger mission, leveraging the opportunity of the internet and a platform that allows you to reach people around the world.
Yeah. And you know, it reminds me of Roger. Tell us a little bit about Roger.
Yeah. So I think about Roger, lives in Dallas, Roger Wakefield. His YouTube channel is called The Expert Plumber. And he's been building his company for years. It's now a 7-figure plumbing business. So he's got a team. He's serving people all over Dallas. But what he started to realize was that he was paying a marketing company a bunch of money and they just weren't getting him results. Like he was just paying them to just burn his money and build his business because of word of mouth and not even related to their efforts. And he started to attend conferences like Social Media Marketing World and kind of Vid Summit and these types of like YouTube marketing conferences and realized like, man, this is the future. So he started to take his business online and doing like plumbing tutorials. Now, here's actually the thing. It really isn't a strategy that correlates directly to his business. It's one that kind of just builds his brand bigger, kind of gives him the opportunity to potentially coach other plumbers and build his brand in that way to open up different revenue streams. But he was able to fire his marketing company and business has not gone down because of the local impact in Dallas in his business. But now it's going to another level where he's thinking about actually hosting a conference in a year or two for residential service providers about how to kind of enter into this digital marketing age. So local plumber sees the opportunity to jump on YouTube. It doesn't cost him any money besides the sweat equity and potentially team members that he's devoting to it. But the platform itself is free. And the only barrier to entry was the hustle he wanted to put in. And actually, by the way, he saved money because he let his marketing company go for a couple $1,000 a month to actually leverage YouTube for his plumbing business.
That is insane. A plumber, you know, you don't even think about traditional businesses being able to use these platforms. But I mean, I know that you speak to customers all day, every day about this being an option to be able to market your business, to be able to put your message out in the world. I mean, he's not helping just plumbers, right? He's helping normal, everyday people learn how to do plumbing.
And it's kind of a new school way of thinking because he's also, it would seem, making himself lose business because he's giving away free information that a lot of people would maybe hiring for. And his attitude is like, look, if that person can just go buy a $10 part at Lowe's or Home Depot and fix this themselves, just because they watch one of my free videos, I just want to add that goodwill in the world. What you think is, well, I might have lost an $80 job or $160 job by that person not calling me. But actually the reverse ends up being true. Now he has goodwill with that person. So they look up what he's doing online. They recommend him to somebody else. So it's actually leading to more business than he could handle by actually being more generous, giving away free information, kind of moving the free line. You know, it makes me think of our friend Steve. He's been a part of our Video Ranking Academy. He's a real estate agent. He's about to have an event in Arizona that's packed out. He's bringing people together, and he's used YouTube and also Facebook video and online video period to grow his business and sell more homes or get people's homes listed or help people find homes. And I think about McCain Dogs. They have a local dog training business in Canada, I think around 70 employees. But they started to take some of their dog training information and put it online and put it in digital courses, creating a whole nother income stream of revenue for their business, while also putting out free videos to help people with their dog training. Mike and Catherine from Stone Coat Countertops, epoxy countertops, and they have like 20 income streams with how they've built this out. So I think there's definitely some practical tips we can get into, but the bottom line is yes, like if you're in business in 2020 and beyond, you need to be using YouTube and thinking different and really thinking bigger about the landscape of the world, because the internet has connected all of us and things have changed. We're living through a revolution, so it's time to jump on the bus.
Yeah, and we've got 5 tips for the business owners watching right now. Let's jump into tip number 1, which is establish your presence.
Yeah, I think that number 1, kind of levels of using YouTube for business is if you were to do anything at all, at least set up a channel. At least upload a few videos so people could find you there and you could actually be there. We mentioned it's the #1 video site in the world, the 2nd largest website in the world, owned by Google. Google is the most used website. YouTube's the 2nd most used website in the world. And it's the 2nd largest search engine, which is huge. There's something around 60% of people right now go to YouTube asking questions. So you need to be there. I think it's irresponsible as a business owner, again, unless you're a coal miner and like you live in some obscure part of the world with no electricity in some way. And it's like, yeah, business is fine because it's all done back channel through like, you know, telegraph. Like, I mean, if you're in any kind of modern business in a modern kind of connected way, you just want to be on the internet, and YouTube is one of those platforms you should have a few videos up and your channel kind of optimized just so people can find you and see that you're relevant in the current century we're living in.
So important. So once a business owner gets online, I know the next question always is, well, what type of videos should I make then? Because as business owners, we think we need to be making these big, extravagant videos talking all about ourselves, but that's actually not it. What type of videos should business owners make?
Yeah, so it's funny, and that's actually the mistake that Roger made at first. So the first like 10 videos he did, which didn't do anything for his business, was just kind of videos about himself.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a thing. You think, okay, people are going to want to know more about my business. Nah, not really. Or they're just going to kind of want to see this local clip of me in the media trying to build my authority. Nope, they don't care about that either.
Yeah.
They actually care about their problems. They care about what it is that they're dealing with in that exact moment. So here's what you do as a business owner. What are your top FAQs? Most business owners know that they have an FAQ website on their website because you get frequently asked questions. How do I clean my pool? What is the pH level or whatever in the pool of the chemicals that should be there? What happens if this, if it's turning green? What, like all these different, what are the most asked questions? Turn one question into one video and upload that on your website. Now, here's what's cool about that is even if you don't think globally yet or bigger picture, you are now basically documenting yourself asking a question that you can send one-to-one in a customer service way. So eventually you're listening on Twitter and someone says, hey, I'm wanting to clean my pool, but I'm wondering about this. Boom, send them a YouTube link. Somebody sends you an email and they're like, yeah, I was kind of curious about this thing. What do you think? Oh, I explain it here. Boom, send them a YouTube link. So instead of necessarily jumping on the phone, which is still something we should do as business owners, it could be a great way to lead to business, but you're essentially scaling yourself. Why not document you, the key leader or someone in your team that can communicate for your business answering the question that you have to get on the phone and spend 10 minutes every day, 5 times a day. That's 50 minutes every day. Take that 10 minutes, record a video, and now just send that to 5 people and have your personal assistant do that or somebody else do that for you. You're already multiplying your team. The deeper level of that is that when you do put out frequently asked questions, because people are using YouTube as a search engine, it can start bringing you exposure and awareness to people around the world that could benefit from those questions. Like if you help people prepare their taxes and you're a CPA or an accountant, you might just help them with general preparedness or general updates about tax information. Your thing is, well, wait a minute, what if they never work with me? Well, all you're doing is adding more goodwill in the world. Maybe you already have enough customers and clients, but people are starting to fall in love with you from around the world. And we've seen friends of ours, we just had Mitch come into our Inner Circle program teaching about all the stuff that we need to know kind of as YouTube influencers and as people that are putting content online to stay safe with social media content. And he's done a book. It has led to clients. He's a local California attorney and lawyer.
Right.
But it's led to him speaking at conferences in other states. It's kicked open doors when he just started giving away free, valuable information that's essentially valuable to people locally for him. It expanded his whole world, even nationally and globally, because he took action and started posting frequently asked questions on YouTube.
In celebration of the launch of this brand new podcast, we're giving away 2 tickets to our annual conference, Grow with Video Live, a $1,500 value.
All you have to do to enter is make sure you subscribe, leave us a review on Apple Podcast, and then take a screenshot of your review and go to thinkmarketingshow.com for the rest of the details.
Yeah, it makes me think of Dr. Eye Health also. You know, he's a doctor in Minnesota or Wisconsin, and he just started answering those questions about this contact lenses or these contact lenses, and what is this type of eye thing, and what is this type of eye thing? I don't know eye doctor terminology, but he told us that he's going to be speaking on a stage for eye doctors of how to use this to grow their local business. So, I mean, this is, like you said, this is so impactful, not just for where you are now, but where the possibility can go once you get there. And possibility can be endless once you start putting that information out online.
Well, in Dr. Eye Health, he's like at 80,000 subscribers now. And so he not only still has his day job of serving people as an eye doctor, but he's also now making hundreds, if not a couple $1,000s a month extra. So I don't know if that sounds interesting to people watching, but it's like you start thinking about having an extra income stream that could either go straight towards your future and retirement or your family, or it could go back into scaling your business. Because you also might ask, well, how am I going to do all this? This might take a budget. This could be self-liquidating pretty quick when you start applying some of these strategies, because you can reinvest those dollars to scale the media and marketing of your company with the money you can earn from some of these strategies.
Yeah. So now we know that as business owners, we need to be online. We know that we need to be answering questions. You have a strategy on questions. What type of questions should we be answering?
Yeah. I mean, the questions should be usually basic at first.
Yeah.
You know,
So
simple questions. Yeah. We actually have kind of a framework. I think we call it stupid, specific, starter questions.
Yeah.
And so they should just almost be like, that seems obvious. Well, it seems obvious to you. You're an expert. You've been baking cookies for 25 years. But someone starting out, they're like, I just don't know why the chocolate always comes out hard and not gooey. And you're like, oh, that's because you didn't use the right. Like, these are the type of things that people are like, now they're perfect. And now at the party, everybody loves me because the chips are perfect. And now someone like, you're in their heart. You've created goodwill because you just gave them some free information. And now maybe they start having you ship them cookies, or they want to buy your recipe. You know, it can lead to so much by answering those practical questions for people.
Yeah. So now how do we discover on YouTube what type of videos? So we know those are the questions, but how do we know beyond that? What type of searching should we do?
Well, yeah, I think then, the third reason why businesses need to be on YouTube is for the SEO value.
Yeah.
And we mentioned that kind of in number 2. YouTube is the second largest search engine, and the SEO means search engine optimization. When we talk about YouTube, we're talking about video SEO, video search engine optimization. And so when you're a business owner, getting new customers and getting discovered by your target audience is everything. And if you think about this, what's it worth to a business owner to be the first ranking on page 1 of Google? Invaluable. Well, it's easier to rank on the first page of YouTube. And there's been reports from Cisco and others that when you create video content, it's even easier to rank videos on the first page of Google than it is text websites or just text posts. So simply by answering specific questions, you're going to get that SEO benefit over time by building that library of videos. And then you're also going to get local SEO. It's even easier. In fact, years ago in 2009, I had a business, Clear Vision Media. I was a freelance videographer. And I was shooting weddings, concerts, all this kind of random stuff. Local Seattle hip hop artists, music videos for them. And I was also doing websites for churches and social media, kind of just like a one man. I was just doing it all and helping people optimize their YouTube channels. And I did a video for a local Mexican restaurant in our small town. To this day, that video still ranks for like Marysville, Washington Mexican restaurant. And they only paid me a few $100s to do this. So you think about the power of getting this video made. This video has ranked for 8 years. Now it only has a few thousand views, but you only made it once. Like they hired me to do it one time, get this video on YouTube for them optimized, and now they're the dominant force in a small town because of local search engine optimization. That video can be embedded on their website and they're getting value. So when you invest in video assets, I kind of feel like it's like a fine wine. It gets better with age, like you put these videos out, but then over time, you're still getting that benefit from them. Or like real estate, they increase in value. Video estate, it increases in value over time. So the SEO benefits are another reason that business owners need to absolutely be using YouTube.
Yeah. And then let's talk about YouTube paid advertising.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm sure you have thoughts on as well. I think that YouTube paid advertising is the other new opportunity for business owners. Even if you never get into a place where we're not going to be YouTubers, we're not going to have a weekly show, you can, just like you'd invest in a billboard or in the Yellow Pages or in any other form of marketing, getting into a direct mail piece or a coupon book, whatever, you can pay money to get in front of your ideal customers with YouTube. In a zip code, in a certain zip code range, around what kind of videos they're watching in a zip code range for local or for anybody that, especially online, that maybe you want to sell some sort of a product or coaching or service to anybody around the world, hyper targeting on the type of videos they watch or what they follow, or even search-based intent that can start on Google and follow them all the way to YouTube. And this could be very affordable. Not only that, the fact that we're talking about this right now, I just got off the phone with a good friend of mine. I'm about to speak at his conference this coming weekend. And he's like, bro, Facebook is like sketch right now. He goes, I just have had ad accounts shut down. I've had to have 3 appeals. I'm worried because I'm kind of a one-trick pony in my marketing, relying so much on Facebook marketing, which is so popular in Facebook ads. It's not like that's dead and that's still something to leverage, but YouTube is largely an untapped landscape. And it could be very affordable and just something to learn. It's through the Google AdWords platform. And I don't know, I mean, what are your thoughts on YouTube advertising for business going into 2020 and beyond?
Yeah, I think it's something, like you said, it's a growing thing that needs to be happening because there is so much opportunity there. When you think about what you're spending in your marketing budget, being able to advertise knowing exactly where your audience is priceless. I mean, and for such a low cost. And like you said, you can target by interest. You can target by videos watched. I mean, you really have a lot of the same targeting abilities that you had on Facebook and just transferring that over to a platform where people are spending a lot of time and you can get it right in front of them before they even start watching other videos and have a grace period where you don't even pay. Like they actually get to watch some of your video first, your ad first. And if they click past that, you don't pay, but you still got to have that, you still had that reference with them. So I think local businesses having YouTube is a critical thing coming into 2020.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then of course, number 5 is, this would be the biggest vision of why a business should use YouTube, is really building a brand and becoming a media company. And it makes me think of, probably Stone Coat's such a good example of this, as a local countertop business, epoxy countertops. They're sourcing those products and then they're doing installs for people. They're making designs, they're building, the kitchen countertops, custom countertops with epoxy so it's more affordable and looks like other type of stone setups. And then what they do is they start building basically a media company online. They realized, okay, we're going to take on the identity of being educators and helping people learn how to do this, basically giving our information away for free, because there's a lot of interest in maybe people that want to DIY, do this themselves, maybe other business owners that want to learn from us. And see, this is a different mindset, because that's where business owners are like, well, wait a minute, what if they steal my secrets? And it's like, yo, it's 2020, yo. Like, these secrets are everywhere. They're all on the internet. It's about like putting them into play, like taking action. And so they started putting that out. But what they've done is not only do they put out multiple videos a week, they kind of have different, it's almost like you think about Fixer Upper, like Chip and Joanna Gaines. It's thinking, wait, no, we're going to be a media company. We're going to be kind of positioning ourselves as personalities that are authorities in this space. And that's what they've done. On top of that, now they also sell the products so people can make that themselves. So they warehouse, they've got the epoxy, people can buy that. That's an income stream for their business. They actually are getting so many views on their YouTube channel that's generating between $50,000 to $100,000 a month in revenue just from YouTube views. And so then they've got that. They've still got the business where you can actually go do installs for people, and they've got the team working on that. They turn it into an event that people could go and attend to as well. And then they've got even other ways to make money around that in terms of education. So they are a media company that has a lot of things going on. That's what we're actually doing here at Think Media. Some people think, well, you put all this free information. Think Marketing. This show is free information, yes, but we have opportunities for people to then be a part, because it's a lot to learn. Like, navigating this landscape is a challenge. So that's why we have a conference called Grow with Video Live, where people can learn to master online video, the paid strategies, the organic strategies. That's why we've got digital training products to help people learn these things, or the books or the masterminds. It's just because it's built around the fact that we are committing to creating content. And here's the thing. I think that every business, every church, every nonprofit needs to be thinking about themselves as a media company. More and more than ever before, people are thinking, companies large and small are hiring a videographer. They're hiring like social media manager or a social media brand voice, because it's so important that you be creating content on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube, across the relevant platforms, putting out content on Twitter to get the voice out there of your business. And this is not just for sales this year or in the next 2 years. This is for establishing your brand to have relevance in 2025, in 2030, and staying really ahead of the curve so that you don't experience what Blockbuster did when they got wiped out by Netflix, or you don't see the disruption that the taxi industry is happening when Uber and Lyft came along. It's that same thing that's happening. Content is just kind of the gateway to relevancy in culture right now. And so if you want to take your business to that level, you got to really build a bigger brand and be thinking at least as a media company. And this doesn't have to be overnight. This might be a mindset that starts right now when you're listening to this very episode of the Think Marketing Show. But over the next few months and over the next few years, you say, okay, I can start steering my ship that direction so that I can catch and ride this wave of opportunity that we're living through right now.
Wow, so powerful. And if you're a business owner and you're ready to get started on YouTube, we have some resources down below. So like Sean just mentioned, we have a marketing conference you can come to. We have digital online courses that you can take to educate yourself, right? Because that's a big piece of this. It's not just going to happen. You need to do exactly what you did to start your business. You need to dive into understanding this market. Thanks for checking out this episode. We hope you got a ton of value. And if you haven't already, subscribe here to the Think Marketing Show, wherever you're watching or listening.
And hey, it would mean the world to us if you would rate and review this show on Apple Podcast.
As we grow this movement of purpose-driven content creators, we encourage you to share it with a friend. And we'll see you in the next episode.